Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This meeting we're gonna have a review on the marketing BUHI skills, the marketing strategy, and the results. BUHI skills from our Chief Marketing Officer was to spend the entire budget, spend the budget wisely, grow the brand awareness, increase engagement, increase sales, and outperform other marketers. Our marketing goals was to create a trustworthy brand for the audience by only creating content that holds our principles and values, increase more engagement with followers by keeping a steady schedule of organic posts. We aim to increase our engagements by at least 10%. Each week, we aim to carefully spend our entire budget on posts that will promote sales and engage our audience. We aim to increase our gross revenue by $200,000 in 2 months. We aim to increase our audience by at least 10% each week. Our strategy for this company was to post between 5 to 7 times a day. Usually 2 posts were paid posts each day. Each day would usually post 2 paid posts. We also posted 2 sale posts each week. The rest of the posts were organic. We usually posted between the time 4 to 6 p.m. We use the platforms Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and Pinterest. We also targeted Back to School Mindy and Daypacker Tom because they were the ones who bought our products the most. We also create posts that would interest Mindy and Tom, such as traveling and back-to-school posts. Since we targeted Mindy and Tom, the posts about traveling and about back-to-school shopping worked the best. And for our organic posts, if they were motivational quotes, they worked the best. What didn't work the best was having jokes as a post for our organics. For our organic posts, having them as jokes. Those were as successful as relatable or motivational posts. For most of the time, we used Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Pinterest. But during the end, we did focus our posts on Instagram as it brought in the most revenue. Our marketing setbacks, our big crisis was that we wanted to bring in more revenue. We've had a steady stream of revenue, but we want to increase our revenue so that we can outperform other marketers and so that we can bring in more sales to the company. So we decided we couldn't decide which was the best way to increase our revenue. So first we decided to post even more organic posts and because we couldn't go over budget on paid posts. But then the organic posts started not to bring in revenue or get as much engagement as it did before. So then we decided to go in more depth and analyze each social media platform and what works better, what post works better on that platform and what other post doesn't. So for Facebook, we discovered that Facebook wasn't bringing as much revenues, and that was confusing since Facebook is the largest platform in the world. And what was even more confusing was both Twitter and Pinterest brought in more profit than Facebook. Then we also realized, well, Pinterest and Twitter, the main source of revenue from them is having large followings and organic posts. So that made sense that when we made more organic posts, that we were going to make more revenue from them compared to Facebook, where it didn't require you to make as much organic posts. So we decided to keep creating a bit more organic posts on Pinterest and Twitter, but we stopped creating organic posts. We stopped creating as much organic posts. So we usually just created like 2 organic posts a week. And the paid posts on Facebook also wasn't doing too well. So we decided to decrease the amount of paid posts we created on Facebook. So we decided to do, instead of 10 paid posts a week, we decided to do 5 paid posts a week. We also realized Instagram was doing the best with paid posts. So we wanted to put in more money and focus our efforts on Instagram by putting in a higher budget on the paid posts, which worked well since Facebook paid posts wasn't doing as well anyways. Looking back on to this crisis, we realized maybe it wasn't the best idea to start creating more organic posts, as that would annoy our followers and cause them not to want to deal with our company. However, if we didn't do that, then we wouldn't have brought in so much revenue from Twitter and Pinterest as we did. However, our organic posts on Facebook might have gotten a bit more revenue if we didn't post as much. It didn't necessarily hurt the company, as we still made more profit and revenue as we did before. However, it did hurt our revenue stream from Facebook, as Facebook's revenue stream kept going down after we were trying to increase the revenue. However, the increased revenue from Twitter, Pinterest, and Instagram didn't let the decreased revenue from Facebook bring this company down. Our marketing results was that the company grew by being aggressive in creating content, which resulted in an increase in our followers and brand awareness. Then spending our entire budget on promotions, paid posts, and our content resulted in higher sales. And the company also grew and increased engagements through more clicks, impressions, likes, replies, and shares. The company also increased in revenue by $669,000. We used the entire budget each week to make this happen. And if we had a bigger budget, we could have increased the growth of the company even more by not having to worry about just being able to have enough money for promotional and paid posts, but we could also focused our efforts on influencers as well and made even more profit. Anyways, thank you for coming to this meeting. I hope you guys have a great day.